Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. Welcome to the Platinum Age of Television. And I really think I can say that and solidify that with a new TV show that was released called WandaVision. This was released on Disney Plus, and the first TV show of the Platinum Age of Television was released also on that same service, and it was called The Mandalorian. Before we go into what this current generation is beginning as, I want to look at the previous generation, the golden age of television, which I believe was begun by Lost in 2004. This was an ABC TV show. This is like basic network TV with a pilot costing $1 million. It had a huge scope, and it really changed the way that stories were told on TV, the way that narratives were written, and it really started embracing internet culture, where after one episode, you could really talk and invest your time and other people's time into finding out what is going on in your TV show. By the way, I do live in New York City, so that noise is going to be all around here, so I guess just try not to mind it. But Lost was one of my favorite TV shows, and why this new WandaVision TV show, which I watched first on my iPad and then on my TV in my room, it really has that same sense of mystery. So that kind of jogged my memory, and I went back to Lost, and I remembered how this one TV show really did inspire TV for the next decade, and even now. Because you have this you have an episode, it has a story, and peppered throughout the episode and including the end, you do have these kind of mysteries where you can talk with your friends for the next week before the next episode is released. You can go and invest your time, and it really works well for a streaming service. Because I know that there were other TV shows. I guess you could consider Stranger Things a tentpole TV show for Netflix. But this is honestly a way that you should not distribute a TV show, anything that comes in different parts on your streaming service. If you have one day and you release all your episodes, then you kill the need for your subscribers to stay with you for more than 1 week. You can binge a TV show and then it is gone forever, and then maybe you subscribe again next year if you only care about that one TV show. What I've seen with The Mandalorian and WandaVision is they're going to release one episode a week. You're gonna have that one thing on Friday, and you're gonna have to wait until the next Friday to actually get your next taste. But in the meantime, you are still subscribed, and because the sweet spot is around 8 episodes or 2 months, you're gonna invest your money into Disney Plus for 2 months. So it'll allow you to stay a little longer. Now, what you may be seeing in the future is 8 episodes going to 9 or 10 episodes, because you are now pushed over the 2-month threshold. But right now, I think they're investing their budget into proper storytelling, beautiful CGI that is on par with movies, and I just think that the post-production in these features, and I will call them features, feature TV shows, is what really sells it for the customer and sells you on their service. Now, I guess I want to take a step back and look at one movie that was released this year on Netflix. Now, this was a movie that in, I guess, past years, when movie theaters were open, this would have been released on the big screen. But this movie, Big Sky, with George Clooney, was released on Netflix, and it was part of their kind of one movie per week, because they have so many movies that are out there that can't be shown in movie theaters. They bought the rights, and they're going to distribute them over their services. But there is one thing that I could tell: they most likely bought this movie and everything was filmed, but I could tell that they did not put the amount of post-production money into this, where you can see if this was shown in a movie theater, it would have had a grander scale and looked more clean. This more or less looked like a smaller budget film that was released and tried to be kind of played off as a larger movie. And while the story I thought was good, you could definitely tell that they did try and cut some corners to save some dollars just so that you would have George Clooney as a name on a feature film and distribute it through your service. But here lies the problem with movies. You can get somebody for 2 or 3 hours sitting down, watching your streaming service to find maybe your favorite actor or your favorite type of movie that was a science fiction movie, but then that's it. If you aren't sold on the rest of what's going on in your streaming service, then you're out. This is where that TV show kind of multi-episode kind of thing ties you in. And they're going to put so much money into this. It's astounding what is going to be happening with TV shows. If you didn't see, Disney Plus is going to have multitudes of Marvel TV and Star Wars TV. These are things that play on your nostalgia, kind of tie in together. If you watch one, you have to watch everything else so that it pulls you into a service. It is so interesting to see what exactly is going to be happening with TV. So we already know we're going to get a lot of these 1 episodes a week on Disney Plus. I do foresee this change happening at Netflix because it just does not make any sense where you have maybe 8 to 13 episodes and they are released at once and then bam, you can be done with that streaming service forever. But who knows what's going to happen. If they're smart, I believe they're going to move into Disney Plus's kind of idea of releasing content. I guess the last thing I want to talk about, we have here our platinum age of television, and this is just going to go on, and we're going to get more feature TV shows that you have to pay a streaming service for. But what's going to happen when movie theaters come back? I live in New York City. I live blocks away from an AMC movie theater where right now, HBO Max and Warner Brothers are kind of diminishing they are diminishing the value of going to a movie theater. You pay your money to HBO Max and you can watch basically everything the day it's released in movie theaters. You can watch it at home. So why spend any extra money? You can have your snacks, you can do everything, you can be with friends, and you can just watch it here and you are all set. So what happens with movie theaters? First, it's just going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. When you release a movie from Warner Brothers, you're going to have the option of staying home or going to see it in the movie theater. But what I think could be done, and this is something that I would be entirely open to, is these kind of grander scale TV shows like The Mandalorian and WandaVision and other things that are going to be coming out where they do put a lot of money into making the TV show, and you have to include post-production because they do max out there because these look clean. These look like feature films. I wouldn't mind seeing these weekly in a movie theater. When you're allowed to be around other people again, socially and by law, I think it's just going to work out where that you can maybe see for maybe 1/3 the cost of a traditional ticket, or maybe 1/2 the cost. Go see WandaVision. It's going to be released every Friday. Go see it in movies. And I think they would love it because the point of movie theaters is literally getting you in there. Then they want you to spend money on popcorn and drinks and all that. And if you do that consistently, they're going to be making money as well. So this is not what I foresee happening, but what I would believe could save movie theaters. And maybe they just won't call them movie theaters. They'll just call them theaters because you can see your tentpole movies or your very popular movies released once a month. But then you can go, if it's nearby and acceptable to, you can go to your local theater and you can see WandaVision, or you can see The Mandalorian, or whatever TV shows will be out next. And you can kind of have that experience because, again, I watched The Mandalorian and WandaVision on my iPad. I have like the biggest iPad Pro, 11.9 inches, and I was also watching it on my TV, which is about 42 inches. But I have an okay sound system. I have an okay setup here. But imagine watching The Mandalorian on a giant screen. The first season was shot well. They did it, and I think it looks great. The second season, they expanded the scope and made it more like a feature film. I would pay money to see this content on a giant screen, just as I've seen the other Star Wars movies as well. Now you may think the distribution of getting film reels to movie theaters may be an issue, the logistics of it. I'm sure that can be solved. I'm sure if you just increase the bandwidth, maybe you can shoot things to theaters digitally somehow. You just have it there, and then when you're done, you just move on to the next thing. I think it would be great to do this. Like maybe you have a Disney Plus TV show released one day before in movie theaters. If you're a diehard fan, you'll pay and you'll see it there and just see it for the next week. You'll have access to see this great piece of content where it's going to be 30 minutes to 45 minutes of just a good time. And if you choose to just stay at home and just pay your streaming service, you can just watch it the next day. I think it would work out so well. But here is where I think we are. I think we are at the beginning of the platinum age of television through streaming services, where TV shows are released once a week for maybe about 2 months. I think it's a great time to be a media lover. But guys, if you have any comments or questions, what's your favorite TV show? What TV show would you love to see on the big screen? Even like a TV show like Lost. I would love to be able to see that. The scope was grand for the pilot and multiple episodes, but you have to imagine they had 24 episodes and one budget stretched out for all of them. Imagine if they had compounded it like they did in later seasons and they did something. It would have been a beautiful TV show. And well, imagine if that was remade and under the same scale as you have here. That would be something to see. But yes, guys, I'm also on Instagram at m8b9. You can email me at matt8b9@gmail.com. Again, what do you think is going to happen with TV shows, movie theaters, feature films? Who knows what's going to happen? I hope that movie theaters stay alive, but I have no idea what's going to happen. But alright guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.